Are down for what? Thank goodness it's Friday, everybody. Welcome to the shoot around with myself, Britne Jones, aka the executive, alongside Jason Collins, aka Jay Bird, and Kevin Walker, aka Kevin 11, aka Night Walker. We haven't figured out his nickname yet. Right here on Never Had It So Good Sports Radio. What's going on, K Walker, Jay?
All is well, all is well. Channeling my inner shack with all those different nicknames, man. So.
Yeah, he did have about 50 nicknames, didn't he?
I know, right? Everything's good. Looking forward to a great show tonight, y'all.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, especially with K-Walk all of a sudden want to start talking. All of a sudden, you're quiet. Now you want to start talking because your heat is up 2-0.
You poked the bear. It wasn't me. You poked the bear.
I ain't poked no bear. I ain't poked no bear. That's like you talking. It's like the Cowboys talking after they beat the Eagles playing the practice squad team.
We win though. We win. My teams win though. I mean, my teams win playoffs. So no, not a good comparison.
All right, y'all. Well, the good news is Embiid, which we are about to get into this in a second. He is supposed to be back. How he's going to play, that's going to be interesting to see. But let's see. But you guys ready to talk about some basketball?
Let's do it.
Rocking with the best. Let's do this.
Always rocking with the best. All right. First and foremost, we got to get into it because yes, my Sixers, not my Heat. That's his Heat. Wait a minute. Read his hat a little bit, threw me off. My Sixers, my Sixers are down 2-0, or I'm sorry, 0-2. Let me correct that. Yeah, we didn't have Embiid. All of our guys are struggling. But I got a question to ask you guys during the series. Well, Embiid is back, so I guess we don't have to worry about this question. But if he wasn't coming back, you know what? Since he's back, I'm going to change the question a little bit. The original question was, can the Sixers win a game without Embiid? But since he's back, but he is injured right now, can he win? Can they win with Embiid? May not, although he's not 100%. Jay, you want to take this one first?
Yeah, no, I think your original question, I think they were in trouble without Embiid. I think we could have put a bow on this series and wrapped it up. But now that he's coming back, I think they have a chance. Look, Embiid is, to me, the best player in the league right now. And even though he's injured, I don't know that it's an injury that it's going to really affect his game all that much, right? He'll probably wear a mask to protect that orbital bone. But I think once he gets out there, he's going to be fine and he's going to be very effective. Look, Philly has to win game 3. Like, it is a must-win situation. But I actually think getting Embiid back, maybe boosting the team's confidence, giving them a little bit of momentum, I think they're going to win game 3 and get back into this series. So with Embiid back, I give the Sixers a fair chance to make this a good series.
I hope you're right. We definitely going to see, because I lost hope once after our show last week and we got the news. All hope was gone for me. What about you, K-Walk? I know this is your team. I know you think Jimmy is elite, of the top tiers of the top tiers. We'll talk about that in a second. But what about you?
I don't know about all. I ain't gonna say all that, but I do think that he can play elite. There's a difference. There's a little bit of difference there. But yeah, to answer the question, yeah, I really thought I'm piggyback on what Jay said, is that I think this is a must-win game with Embiid or without Embiid. I think they showed the ability and they showed that the tenacity to be able to win a game. Now, my thing is, I mean, with Tyrese Maxey, with Tobias Harris as well, I really think they can win a game here. I think they will win a game. Actually, I'm picking them tonight. I'm picking the Sixers tonight. Rooting for the Heat, but I'm picking the Sixers tonight to win this game. Because I just think the presence of Embiid is going to be the difference. Now, I want to see how Embiid plays. Because that injury, from what they describe, a concussion is really something, that you really don't want to mess around with. I think it was just a couple of days ago, he couldn't even, pick up his phone, look at his phone. And then you have that, then you have that fracture in the orbital bone as well. So it's going to be more mental or more from a psychological standpoint how he performs. Because even if he doesn't get hit in the head, he's going to get bumped. He's going to get bumped in the chest. That can jar some stuff there that could recreate, a concussion, but not wishing for that, not hoping for that. But it's going to be interesting to see how aggressive he's going to be, knowing he's coming in off of these particular injuries, and if you want to call it an illness, I don't know what you really want to call it, concussion and illness, but nonetheless, he knows his body. He knows his body better than anyone. But to answer the question, I say all that to say, yes, I really think that they're gonna get two, man. I really think I think they're gonna win tonight. I really think they're gonna win tonight. But I'm rooting for my Heat.
Okay,
Don't
well,
get
you
me
went
wrong,
out a little bit. I can't hear you towards the end.
They may steal this one tonight.
But all right, guys. So, I mean, I agree with you. Yes, this is going to be the biggest thing here. I think I went out, you guys. So I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, we lost you on the radio.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Britt.
Yeah.
I think she might be dialing back in.
All right, I'm watching. See if she comes up.
And one of the interesting things, K-Walk, about the concussion thing, man, is that, being football players, right? I mean, back then, nobody really talked about concussions a whole lot.
Right.
I know I've played in some games with concussions. I know you probably played in some games with concussions, but now it's kind of taboo, So
yes.
I think it's going to be interesting just to see kind of if they're keeping a close eye on Embiid, if he gets bumped around, if his head's not feeling right, if they're going to be quick to maybe pull the trigger just because of the way everybody looks at concussions nowadays versus how it was 15, 20 years ago.
Exactly. And especially with all of those the lawsuits going on in the NFL, guys are filing lawsuits to get paid because of that. So yeah, you got to be careful with that. Like you stated, it is taboo. And Britt, your mic is back open.
Yeah, my bad, guys. My connection just completely fell. So we're doing the video and then we're doing the radio at the same time. So my connection completely went out. But back to the Embiid thing, I'm really hoping he comes out and he could play. I'm not going to say back to his old self, because I think in the back of his mind, although he has had this injury before, it's just that initial, when you get hit in the face, it's that, how am I supposed to handle this situation, along with his thumb, although he's been playing okay with his thumb. So we'll see. And the fact that he hasn't been able to practice because he's been in concussion protocol this entire time. And we all know if you don't practice, if you don't play in games, although it's been about a week, maybe a week and a half, you get a little sluggish a little bit. So we'll see how we'll see how he plays. This is definitely going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting, but based off of the first two games, I will say I will give the Sixers a chance, because I think they had a chance, especially in that second game. It's just they didn't have enough. They didn't have enough without Embiid. And I keep saying this time and time again, when you have Embiid in that middle, everybody else can play the perimeter like they're supposed to, especially on the defense. You don't have to overhelp, and that's what was going on in previous games on the defensive side of the ball. They were overhelp, being put out of position, which left guys like Tyler Hero, who's a sharpshooter, like you leave him wide open, he's going to knock down shots in your face. Like he's like, am I going to be left open? Cool. And Jimmy Butler hasn't even been playing his best game the first two games. So, but we'll see. Hopefully Tobias Harris can continue to play how he's been playing. Same thing with Maxey. Last game, I think, was really important for Maxey. And then James Harden, if he could just be serviceable right now, just be the serviceable point guard.
$40 million man, serviceable.
Yes, just be the serviceable point guard that I need you to be right now, and get this team just at least to this next game, and hopefully we get a game 5 at least out of it. But that's my next question for you guys, and I really want to ask. They've been talking about him picking up his player option, and them potentially talking about, is he a max guy still? And the Sixers may be convinced that Harden may be okay with not taking the max. So they may be able to get a less contract with Harden. What are your guys, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Jay, you want to take this first?
Yeah, listen, I don't think he's a max guy anymore. If I'm the Sixers, I'm not giving James Harden max money. I don't think, I mean, if you fast forward a year, 2 years out, that's going to be a regrettable situation if you give James Harden max money. Now, if he's willing to take a deal and maybe they can get him at a so-called discount, then maybe that's something that I think the Sixers should look at. But look, to me, James Harden is like a quarter and a half away from being washed, in my opinion. Like, I think he's getting close to the end really fast. Like, as K-Walk likes to say, it's getting late early for James Harden. Like, I just think he's getting close to the end. I think if he wants to continue to be effective, I think he's going to have to develop some other parts of his game. He's not going to be able to hold the ball and dribble all the time and run the shot clock down. He's going to have to do something different. So if I'm Philly, I'll take him at a discount, but I'm not giving James Harden max money. I think they'll regret that in 2 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this one first before I pass it off to you, K-Walk. I think I'm in agreement. You know, I don't know if he's washed. We'll see. Because I see him all the time working on.
Yeah, I might have been reaching
hamstring.
a little bit there.
Yeah. Because they are actively working on his leg 24/7. Now, are we going to get to James Harden from Houston? No. But I'm not looking to get to James Harden from Houston. I am looking for him to be able to consistently knock down shots. Now, that's been the biggest thing since he got here. He hasn't been able to consistently knock down shots. Now, granted, if you look at his history, he has never been the most efficient guy from the field. But he could always knock down that step back three. That took me a minute to see if that's a travel. I'm still questioning that to this day. But if he can consistently just knock that down, especially when we need those shots to be made on times where we're struggling on the offensive side of the ball, that will help us, because that's what he was meant to come here for, you know, just to put us over the top a little bit, to help us out, not to do it all. He doesn't have to do it all, because you have Tobias Harris, you have Max, you have Embiid, but just to help us out a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. And right now he's struggling, which does not help when Embiid is out. But what about you, K-Walk? What do you say in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence with it, whether he's washed or not. If I have to go on the one side or the other, I'm going to say he's not washed. I still think he's still got a little game in there, but nonetheless, I don't. With that being said, I still believe he's worth that money that he's owed next season. So you got to really wonder if he steps up his game from here on out. Will that will he be able to get that max deal? Because I think really the way he plays from this point forward and the remaining of this the playoff season is going to determine whether he get that max deal. Yeah, I just don't know what it is about James, man. I just don't know what it is. I kind of alluded to it last week. When the gunshots go off, you see him ducking behind the car. It's just like when it's time to get into the fight. When it's time to get in the fight, he just seems to disappear, and I just don't know what's going on with that. And you can see, and what frustrates me about him, and I'm not even a James Harden fan, is that you can see that he can do it on every single given night. And then when you don't see it, it's like, come on, man, what happened to the James that we had 2 weeks, two nights ago, last night, whenever the previous game may be. And that's why I love Joel Embiid. Damn it, look at this, man. This guy is just unbelievable. The thumb injury, the broken orbital, the fractured orbital, and the concussion. That's the fight, man. I just love the fight in Joel Embiid, and I hope that rubs off on James Harden. I see everyone else has that fight too, meaning Tyrese Maxey. You see Tobias Harris as well. Even little Danny Green. He's starting to bark a little bit, he's starting to bite a little bit. He's been barking, but he's been starting to bite because sometimes
not that last game.
Nah, yeah, boy. A little.
He went 1 for 10. A little terrible the last game.
Yeah, you're right about that. No, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
that's
listen
why I say he got a little bit of bark left in him, and left in him. But I think that again, my point is, Joel Embiid coming back, I think is going to spark these guys and that's why I'm giving them the advantage of tonight, because you got them in Philly, you got a Philly crowd, and these guys are going to see the fight. Like, this guy's coming back off of this, and this is not going to be, you shake your head at, on no pun intended, as far as this injury that he's dealing with. You come back, and this guy really wants to play. He really wants to win. So that's why I give the slight advantage to Philly tonight for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, but we're going to see. But guys, we got to head into our first break, because we could talk about the Sixers and the Heat forever and a day, but it's time to move on. So let's see what happens tonight. I believe the game starts I believe it's now. They're on now.
Yeah, they're on now.
Yeah,
and
so
they're just keep in mind that Kyle Lowry's back in the lineup as well, starting lineup as well. Just we didn't mention that, so he was out the two games. So I don't know how much difference that's going to make, but they say, listen, when the big man comes back, you're coming back.
Shooting wise, it's going to make a difference, but because he's another shooter on that team. Sure. But all right, guys. So when we come back, I want to ask you guys, who is your MVP of the playoffs thus far? And then we got to do round 2. A couple weeks ago, we did round 1. Now it's time for round 2 for the NBA playoffs draft. So of all the teams that are currently in it, we each take a turn in selecting our 5 players and see who wins. But you guys are listening to the Shoot Around with myself, Britne Jones, alongside Jason Collins and Kevin Walker, right here on Never Had It So Good Sports Radio. Welcome back to the Shoot Around with myself, Britne Jones, alongside Jason Collins and Kevin Walker, right here on Never Had It So Good Sports Radio. All right, guys. Now we got to get into it. So we're having a good playoffs thus far. Some surprises, some maybe not. My biggest surprise, probably the Nets got swept, but that's old and it's okay.
That ain't right, Britne. You ain't have to bring that up.
Sorry, Jay, but technically the Nets and the Sixers were rivals, so I had to bring that up. But so far, of all the players and all the teams, I really want to know, who is your MVP thus far of the NBA playoffs so far? Jay, you want to take this one first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I got 4 names written down because I didn't know who you guys were going to say. But since I'm going first, I think I'm going to go with K-Walk's boy, Ja Morant. I got to go with Ja. He's just been exciting. That 42 he dropped on Golden State the other night to keep them in the series, I thought that was huge. And he's really kind of elevated himself from a good player to a great player. And he's kind of on his way to superstar status. Like, if they can find a way to beat Golden State and he keeps turning in these kind of performances, we're going to be talking about an NBA superstar in Ja Morant. So I think for me right now, I'm going Ja. There's some other great candidates, but for me, I'm going to give the edge to Ja.
Yeah, you can't argue with Ja. Ja has been killing it, especially in that last game where he dropped 47 points, especially when that team needed it the most. But what about you, K-Walk? Who's your MVP thus far?
Jay stole my guy, man. I didn't write a second guy down, man. But off of the top of their head, I'm gonna go with Steph, man. I'm gonna go with Steph Curry, man. I think he's the easiest one right now. I know they're locked right now in that series. But I do like what he's bringing to them. I mean, I like what Ja Morant and these guys have done in the last game, but I still got my money on Steph because I just think that Ja is still growing up. As much as he's won me over, I still think that Steph has a little bit of an edge there because of the fact of the matter, he has that experience, and I think that he has the guys around him that can get the job done in Wiggins and Green and Thompson. I know that Ja has some guys around him, but if Ja has to score 45 a night, and without Steph scoring, the way he was subpar the last game, but Ja was huge. But if Ja has to be that way every single night, I just don't see them winning it. But I think Steph will ultimately be that guy. So I'm going to go with Steph Curry as my MVP right now.
Okay. This one was a tough one for me. But I gotta go, although they're rivals and they've been rivals for a long time. They're big time Sixers rivals. I gotta go with the one and only Jason Tatum. I think he's averaging like 28 points, 7 boards, or something like that, shooting 45% from the field, 42% from three, or no, I believe it's 44% also from three. But what he did in that first series against the Nets and the way he defended KD, that's what made, to me, in my
Yes.
eyes,
Yeah.
made him MVP.
Okay.
And then what he did in the last game against the Celtics, he dropped, I believe, what was it, 28, I think, something like that. You know, he's been, and that's been a big question about Jason Tatum, is his consistency, and he's definitely been consistent thus far in the playoffs. So we gotta watch out for these Celtics. These
For sure.
Celtics is something serious, for real. For real.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
that's a good call. Because I told you I wrote 4 names down. I had Ja, Tatum, Steph, and the other guy that nobody mentioned was CP3, because he's been doing everything
Oh,
for
yeah.
Phoenix right now. So we hit them all for sure.
Jay, I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know why I'm
especially-
not a big fan of CP3. Everybody says it, but I'm not a big fan of CP3. I know we're going to dive into it. I don't know what it is about him that just doesn't excite me. I don't know. Okay, anyway,
He's
go ahead, Brett, I'm sorry.
irritating. I mean,
Alright.
he's irritating. He gets under your skin, but
But I like his
game,
demeanor though. But I like his demeanor. I mean, I just don't. I just don't know if his game just doesn't excite it. It's not anything of his antics or anything like that. It's just his game just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. What
you
it
got to
is.
go
Yeah, he
back
doesn't-
and
he-
watch some old CP3 highlights, like when he was
Mhm.
more athletic. Like you might get
Uh-huh.
a little more excited. But they don't call him the point
Mhm.
god for nothing, K-Walk. I mean, this guy's the real deal, man.
Nah,
I mean,
I
look,
don't know what it is.
he's
Go
the
ahead,
only guy in NBA history to ever shoot 100% from the field in the playoffs. So
That
there
was
you
cute.
go.
That was cute. Yeah, that was cute. I can't argue.
That was cute. That's the truth. That's because he plays
Hell,
that
Still doesn't
position
do it for
right.
me.
He's a
Yeah.
winner. He may not be a championship winner, but he's a winner. So
Maybe
all his
that's what it
teams
is.
get to the next
Maybe that's
level.
what it is, Brett. Great point. Great point there. Maybe that's what it is. Sorry.
All right, guys. So we got to get into the fun round here. Round 2 of the NBA playoff draft. So for those who don't know, who may be listening, or if you're watching us, if you're watching, what we do is we have 5 rounds. Each person takes a turn and picking an NBA star, role player, whatever, to put on their basketball team, 5 players, and we cannot do any repeats. I was going to make it a little bit tougher, but I changed my mind. So if they are injured, they can be included into your team. All right. So
okay.
let's see who wants to go first. I think I went first the last time. I will not go first this time again. That's not right. I go with Jay on this one because K-Walk is a Heat fan and they playing my team right now. So Jay, you up first on this one.
All right, perfect, Britt. Good looking out. Give me Giannis. Give me Giannis, man. Even though Boston's D'ing him up pretty well, I'm going to take Giannis just because I don't know that you can hold the Greek freak down. So I got Giannis.
Okay. Is that how that works? Oh, that's how it's working. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay. I thought that if they were already picked, you couldn't pick them again if they're.
You mean?
I didn't know how. Well, no, I thought that meant like we had to go the second round, which means that you pick your bench or whatever the case may be. That's what I thought. That's how I thought. Britt,
we starting over. This is just a round 2 draft. We starting over. So lineups are going to change a little bit. So we starting over.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, I'm sticking with my man Ja. Sticking with my man Morant. Sticking with Ja.
All right. Okay. So that means I'm going to take, although he's injured right now, since nobody wanted to pick him, the MVP of the league, I'm going to take Embiid. Like, come on now. Come on.
All right.
All right.
That's a good pick.
Let's see. Jay, you go ahead.
All right. Embiid was kind of far down my list because of the injury. So I'm going to go with the second guy on my list that nobody took. Give me Steph Curry. So I got a guy that can't shoot and the greatest shooter of all time.
Okay.
All right.
K-Walk, who you got?
I'm going to go with Jason Tatum here. I'm going to go with Jason Tatum. I'm going to take Jason Tatum. So I like that.
Okay. You just took my guy, but it's okay. Literally just took my guy. Sorry, though. You know what? I feel like my list might be a little bit similar to the last one. I have to switch it up a little bit, but I'm gonna go with defense and shooting. I gotta go with Klay Thompson.
Okay. Back to me.
Yep, back to Jay.
All right. Give me. I need some size. I need a center. So give me. I'm gonna take DeAndre Ayton. I was gonna take Bam, but I'm gonna take DeAndre Ayton. Give me a big man.
Okay. All right. What about you, K-Walk?
Yeah, I have to go size here. I'm gonna take my goodness, who am I gonna take here, man? Give me Luke. Give me Luka Doncic. I'm gonna give me Luke. I'm gonna put him at the 3. So give me Luka Doncic.
Okay.
Luka Doncic at the 3? Oh Lord.
Yeah, I have to put him at the 3. Yeah, I'm going big now. I got some big boys.
He ain't home play defense though, but it's all right.
It's all right. Somebody's gonna play defense. I know, right?
All right. Let's see who I got. All right, so I'm putting Embiid at the 5. Klay is that 3 guy, maybe 4, depending if you want to go small ball. You know what? I'm gonna go with your guy, K-Walk. I'm gonna go with Jimmy. I want some defense.
Okay. All right.
That's a good call.
I like that one. Yeah.
Man, I really need a 4, and I could use a little more. You know, my team ain't too bad defensively. But I'm gonna take Draymond Green. I know he's not gonna give me much on the offensive end, but give me his fire, his leadership, and his defense.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Jay, I'm questioning your scoring right now, but it's okay. K-Walk, you up, K-Walk.
All right. No one took Bam, right? Jay, you didn't take Bam, right? You went with
he's still
all right.
available.
I'm going Bam. I'm going Bam.
All right. So Bam. All right. So I need a point. But someone who could score, someone with some size, could play some defense. You know, we just talked about him. I'm going with the old head. Will get it done. Could play a little defense. They always knock him a little bit on his defensive side, but watch his tape. Chris Paul, the point guard.
Okay.
Yep, that's a good pick. All right. Britt questioned my scoring, so I better get somebody that can put the ball in the hole here. Give me Devin Booker, man. Give me Devin Booker. I'm gonna take Book. He'll be a nice combo with Steph.
Okay. I like that pickup, actually. I do like that pickup. He will score. He got that Kobe type shooting. He can shoot over about 8 guys if he wants to. K-Walk, it's up to you. Last round, K-Walk.
Last round. I know. I got Ja, I got Tate. All right. So I got some shooters. I got some scorers here. I got a little bit of size here. Looking at the team to the left, I'm going to go with good gracious, this is a tough one. What you want to do here? How you want to play your game, Kev? How you want to play your game?
Tyler Hero's still out there, Kev.
I know that's you, Jay. I was just thinking about it. I'm not even joking. It's funny,
You
but
better
I was
some serious defense.
All right. You know what? Man. There's no defense left in the West. So let me look over at the give me okay. What am I gonna do? So I could put Bam. I could put Bam at the 5. All right.
K-Walk about to lose his pick because the time ran out on his draft.
Right?
I'm trading my pick. No, but give me we can go with the guys in the first round too, right? Correct? Or just the second round? Okay. All right.
No, as long as their team is in this round, the team's got to be in this round. But yeah.
Oh, this round. All right. Give me Jaylen Brown, man. Give me Jaylen Brown. I need some defense. So
you just took my guy.
Give me Jaylen Brown. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the delay.
All right. You took my guy, but it's okay. So I need a 2, right? All right. I got some defense. I got Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, Klay Thompson, and Embiid. That's scoring. That's defense. I need a 2. What's a 2? Give me a good 2. You took my guy.
Know,
Let's
right?
see.
Tyler Hero's out there.
You know what? Nope. You know what? I like this guy. I like this guy. He looks like, I told you guys before, this guy looks like a running back. They could play in the
Williams.
in the NFL.
Yeah.
But he could score his butt off. I'm going with Desmond Bain. I gotta take that guy because he's aggressive. He could score. Yeah. All right. So let's go around. We did this before. Let's go around real quick. Tell us who you got. After everyone says who they got and they're 5, then we gotta be honest, no biasness, nothing. Tell us honestly who you think has the better team. K-Walk, I'm gonna start with you on this one since I'm questioning your lineup.
Oh, that's what's me. I'm questioning mine too. I'm gonna start with Ja. I got Ja Morant here. I got Jason Tatum at the 2. I'm going Luke. Actually, I'm going Jaylen Brown at the 3. I have to put him at 3. I'm putting Luke at the 4, and I got Luka Doncic, and I got Bam at 5 at center spot. So I got Ja, Tatum, Luka, Bam, and Jaylen Brown.
Okay. I'm not too mad at that. What about you, Jay?
All right, I'm gonna try to make mine sound real good. I got the greatest shooter of all time at point guard, Steph Curry. I got Devin Booker, who Britne just said was like a baby Kobe Bryant at the 2 position. I got the unstoppable Giannis at the 3. I got Draymond Green, one of the best defenders the league has ever seen, at the 4. And I got the big man, DeAndre Ayton, at the 5.
Okay.
I think my team could defend that.
I think everybody's team could defend that one. Not because of Curry and Booker, but the other 3, they quit. I don't know about their scoring. All right, so for me, of course, I got the point guard, Mr. Chris Paul, at the 1. I'm gonna put Desmond Bain at the 2 because he could score. He's tough. He's physical. Jimmy Butler, who could score when he wants to. So, but on this team, he's going to, and he could defend anybody at the 3. I got Klay Thompson, who could score and play defense, at the 4. And I got the MVP of the year. Probably should have been MVP of last year, too. I don't give a darn what anybody says, at the 5. All right, Jay. So you go ahead first. Who you got as far as winning out of all these teams?
I like my team, but I guess they can't score. So I'm looking, you know what? I think I'm gonna go K-Walk. I'm gonna go with K-Walk's squad here. I don't know how well they're gonna fit together, but he's got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the hole, and Ja, Luka, and Tatum. So I think they're gonna try to outscore everybody. So I'm going with K-Walk here.
Okay. What about you, K-Walk? Who you got?
You know what? I'm going to sound biased. I like
here we go.
You did this last time.
No, because of everything Jay just said. Everything Jay just said. That's what I was basing my team off of. I'm looking at my team. I just love, the scoring ability of my 2 guards. Luka, I can put him at the 4. I know I said I'm going to put him at the 3, but then when I drafted Jaylen Brown, I said, you know what? I'm going to put him at the 3. He can guard, take away the big guy. Bam can guard. Luka, he's going to score. So whatever Luka gives up, he can get back on the other end. So because but I do. I'm sorry. I'm sounding biased, but I do like my team again for the second straight week. I'm sorry, guys.
Look, don't get me wrong. I love the players on your team, but Jay, I'm questioning your scoring because if you lock down Curry and you lock down Booker, which is a tough task to do, you don't have much scoring around. And I like Draymond, but when it comes to some of the faster guys in the league, he's not going to be able to keep up, especially at that 4 with these stretch guys. He's more of a 5 guy.
Okay.
K-Walk, I like your team. Like you said, you got a lot of scoring, but I'm questioning your defense. Brown could play some defense. Tatum, he's shown he's definitely improved on the defensive side. But sometimes Bam, yes, Bam could play some defense too. When it comes to certain guys. But the consistency there with some of these guys, that's why I'm questioning. Not Ja or Luka, it's the other 3. I'm kind of questioning the consistency at times. But my team, I got to go with my team because I'm getting scoring, you getting defense, you getting an all-around. Jimmy's going to defend any of your best guy. Klay can shoot it. He could play some defense. Embiid is the MVP for a reason.
Clay don't play
Clay
defense.
does play some defense.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
But look at them tapes. Now he may not play it 24/7 when he's dropping like 40, but he pick and chooses, but he could play some defense now. Chris Paul, come on, point guard for a reason. Not only one I might be questioning a little bit with the defensive side is Desmond Bain, but he's aggressive and physical. And because the other four guys are willing defenders, then we be all right. So I'm going with my team for sure.
All right. I ain't mad at it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at it. I love all three teams, but I had to pick one.
But everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching this right now, we're going to put this on our social medias and we're going to have you guys choose. So let us know who you think got the best team. All right, guys, we got to head to our next break because our guy, Jason Collins, aka Jay Berg segment is coming up, and that's going to be that's always fun and exciting when we get to his segment. But you guys are listening to the Shoot Around with myself, Britne Jones, alongside Jason Collins and Kevin Walker, right here on Never Had It So Good Sports Radio.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to the Shoot Around with Jason Collins, Britne Jones, and Kevin Walker. All right, guys, we just had our second round NBA draft, but I want to talk about the NBA draft as a whole, because when you kind of go back and start looking at things, there have been some huge misses over the years in the NBA draft. I mean, teams drafting guys that turned out to be complete bust, and they had a superstar still available. So I want to kind of go through some of the biggest draft misses in NBA history. And I know I told you guys to come up with a top 5, but I think we're going to do this a little bit differently. Let's just kind of go around the horn. Give me one of your big misses, and we'll all just kind of take turns until we kind of hit all the big ones. So, Britt, I'll start with you here. Give me one of your biggest draft misses in NBA history.
Oh, man. Actually, I'm glad I'm going first because I think this one is fairly easy, especially with this first one. And I'm going to go more recent. I'm not going to go back then. I had a couple from back then. But I got to go back to the 2003 NBA draft where the Detroit Pistons picked up Darko Milicic, I believe. You selected that man over Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade. I'll even throw in David West and Kyle Korver. How about that? Are you kidding me? I don't remember him even playing. They consider him to be the next Dirk Nowitzki. What a big mistake. He was 7 foot for no reason. 7 foot for no reason. I think his career average was like 6 points. You can't be like that as a second round overall pick. Yeah, no, that was a huge miss.
Yeah, that is huge. And think about what that might have did for Detroit's franchise had they got Melo or D Wade. I mean, that set them back like 10 years. So that is a huge one. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll go next. I'm gonna go back since Britt kept it fairly recent. I'm gonna go way back into in the 70s. I think this was Larry Bird was picked 6. I'm going to read you 3 names of guys that were picked before him. I've never heard of these guys. Phil Ford, Rick Roby, and Purvis Short. I don't know who these guys are, but they were all picked before Larry Legend in the NBA draft. He went 6, man. So that's a huge, huge miss for those teams.
Jay, man. I mean, I've heard of Phil Ford, so I'm a Phil Ford guy, so I've heard of him. But it still doesn't compare to what you're saying. I definitely agree with that. I had 3 drafts here, and I'm going to go with my guy, man. That's MJ, Michael Jordan. He was passed by the Houston Rockets. I love that pick though. You can't argue with the dream pick though. Mm-hmm. But Sam Bowie, Portland. Sam Bowie.
Yeah.
and then obviously the Bulls get you get MJ. So that was one of my guys, man. I think that was obvious, but I think if you look at the 1996 draft where Kobe Bryant was. I know he came right out of high school. Excuse me. But Kobe Bryant was picked number 13 overall by the Lakers. I mean, you looking at Todd Fuller. Exactly, crickets. You know, I mean, these are the type of guys that were picked before Kobe Bryant. So MJ's my guy, but I'm going for the sake of the segment, I'm going to say Kobe Bryant in 1996 was the biggest miss by the NBA, because 12 teams passed on Kobe Bryant before the Lakers picked him up.
Yeah, and it's not only a big miss for the 12 teams that didn't pick him, but then the Hornets turn around and trade this guy.
And trade him.
So even though they
Crazy.
pick him, they still miss by trading him. So
Mhm.
yeah, that was
And
huge.
and then you trade him to his favorite team. Like, what the heck? You
Right.
traded to the team he wanted to go to in the first place. Like, come on.
Right.
All right, guys.
Yeah, that's wild. What else you got, Britt?
For my next one, yes, I had to put my own team in it. Look, I'm a diehard Philadelphia fan, 76ers being my top team because I'm just a basketball girl, first and foremost. But I had to go into the 1993 pick or 1993 draft with the second overall pick. They got the guy who was known for being on the wrong side of a poster, Mr. Sean Bradley. And you passed up on Mr. Anthony Penny Hardaway. Like, you passed up on Penny Hardaway for this guy. Like, come on. He was supposed to be some dominant force, and he got dominated. So that was a huge miss.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a big one. I remember Sean Bradley too, and you're right. Like, all the memories I have of him is getting posterized. Guys just dunking on this guy. So yeah, that's a big one. All right. Let me see here. I'm gonna go the 2009 draft. A Sixer now, James Harden. Harden went number 3, guys. The Grizzlies took Hasheem Thabeet at number 2. Now, coming out of college, everyone thought Thabeet was going to be the guy, but he turned out to be a huge bust. So that's another huge miss for the Grizzlies there. What else you got, K-Walt?
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to the year I was born. I'm going to date myself here, and that's 1972. And Britt, you might appreciate this one. And we're talking about the doc. He was the Dr. Irving. He was passed up on by 12 teams, and just to name some, I mean, there were some decent guys that were picked before him, but Russ Lee, Fred Boyd, Corky Callahan. I mean, really? I mean, these guys were picked in the top 5. Exactly.
I don't know any of those guys.
Exactly.
How are you going to pick a guy named? How are you going to pick a guy named Corky over the Doctor? You know what I mean? That's just terrible.
Look it up,
right
ladies
there.
and gentlemen. I can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up, 1972. But yeah, so my second one is the Doc, for sure. So yeah, we all know about his career and everything that he did in Philly. The rockabye baby. What was it called, Britt? I'm sorry. What was it?
I think
when he dunked on Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper, when he dunked on Michael Cooper, I forget what it was.
Oh yeah,
whatever that was. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's one of his major highlights. But yeah, just looking at this list, I'm putting Doc in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Corky sounds like you need to be a part of Cartoon Network or something, like with Bugs Bunny and all that. I don't know where Corky come from, but all right. So Jay, you kind of took my my other one, so I got to go a little bit more recent. I think I remember this. This guy is non-existent. I don't even know where the heck he went to, but this was a huge miss. The 2013 NBA draft, where the Cleveland Cavaliers selected Anthony Bennett to be the first overall pick, and they passed up Giannis. That was the Giannis draft, everybody. Giannis, CJ McCollum, Victor Oladipo, Rudy Gobert, all those picks, and you pick a guy that nobody knew. Huge miss.
Yeah, I remember Anthony Bennett. And I was just always waiting for him to kind of develop, and it just never happened. I don't even know how long he lasted in the league, maybe just a handful of years. So that was a huge miss for them. All right, I think you guys used up most of mine. I think I got one more here. 2011, Klay Thompson was picked, I believe, at number 11 when the Milwaukee Bucks picked Jimmer Fredette at number 10. Now, coming out of college, everybody thought Jimmer was supposed to be the man, but It just didn't happen in the
Remember
NBA,
him.
man. Missed out on a chance to get Clay, one of the greatest shooters ever.
Yeah, I can't argue. But Jimmer was the man in college, though. He can hit those shots, though.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Looking at it from hindsight, yeah, I get that. I like that with OJ.
All right, you got
So-
one
so
more,
me?
K-Walk?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 2007 NBA draft. I know he was picked second, but the guy that was picked before him, I know this is all about hindsight. Kevin Durant, it's KD, man. I mean, the Portland Trailblazers, they always seem to miss on a guy, man. I got to tell you, they missed on MJ back in '84, and they missed on KD back in 2007. They went with Greg Oden in that pick. So I mean, with the so we all know how that turned out. So I went with the 2007 NBA draft, and I went with KD. I know a lot of guys weren't picked before him, but I thought he should have been the number one pick coming out of the University of Texas.
Well, to defend Greg Oden, I mean, he was injured because he would have been, if he was able to play, I still think he would have been able to dominate the league. That was his skill set, I think, would have been a force for the NBA. I really do. But unfortunately, them knees with those big guys, it ain't it. It ain't it.
Yeah.
With that being said, Britt, let me ask you this. Do you consider him being a bust, Greg Oden? You wouldn't put him on your top five all-time bust list?
No, not my top five, because he was a bust by injury. Bust by injury. The guys that we mentioned, they just bust because they terrible. Like, I got one more for you guys. I got one more for y'all, if I could just say it real quick. And this has been known, and he gets mad to this day when you talk about him being a bust. I don't know if you guys seen YouTube videos or he'll come out on social media, but the 2001 NBA draft, the first overall pick, the big mistake by Michael Jordan, he selected this guy, Kwame Brown. The only mistake MJ has ever had, but Kwame Brown, and they selected him over people like Tyson Chandler, Tony Parker was in that draft, Joe Johnson, Jason Richardson. All these guys had great careers, but Kwame Brown, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
No, you're 100% right about Kwame, but we need to be careful about what we say about Kwame, because if he gets wind of this, he's going to be talking about us on his YouTube channel.
Yes.
So let's just be. I don't want to say
Kwame, you my guy. Kwame, you my guy, girl. You my guy. I ain't messing with Kwame.
My bad, Kwame. Seriously. Don't talk about me too bad. Don't talk about me too bad.
All right, y'all. Good stuff there. All right, let's do a quick round of some bold statements, and then I know K-Walk wants to get into his start bench cut. So I just got a couple bold statements. I don't even know how bold they are, but it'll be interesting to see what you guys think here. All right, here's my first one. The NBA today is better than it was in the 80s and 90s. Okay, Walk, I'm gonna start with you on that. The NBA today is better basketball than it was in the 80s and 90s. Agree or disagree?
I'm going to disagree with that, Jay. The reason why I'm going to disagree with this, ladies and gentlemen, because I just think it was more competitive back then, and in the 80s and in the early 90s as well, because you didn't have these guys teaming up. You didn't have the Birds, teaming up with the MJs and the Magics and the Barclays, just to name a few guys. I thought it was more competitive back then. This is fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. Today's game is fun to watch. Love all the scoring. With the guys like Ja Morant and KD and Giannis, just to name a few. Steph Curry, throw him in there for sure. But I'm more of a guy that I love the competitive aspect of it, where there's more defense, and you're gonna put a body on another guy, and you're gonna put a elbow in their back or in their chest, whatever the case may be. So with that being said, I'm going to say the 80s, early 90s is better for me, in my opinion. IMO, ladies and gentlemen, for our young listeners.
All right, good stuff. Britt, what you say?
I'm the youngin here. I'm the youngin, and then probably the obvious choice would be to say today, but you guys know me. I can't. Look, I will say today they have more skill than anybody in the previous years. Just the way they train now, the coaches out there, they have a lot more skill, from the Kyrie Irvings and so forth. but the overall game to me is better in the 80s and 90s. Like they allowed those boys to play. Like you really had to come hard with it. You see what the Detroit Pistons did to MJ. MJ had to get in the weight room and be like, yo, this can't keep happening to me anymore. And then they just had go along with what K Walk said. They just had that mentality of I want to be the best. I'm not teaming up with nobody else. I'm going to beat you to prove to you that I'm going to be the best. And that was just their mentality back then. Like they really grinded and really competed hard versus nowadays, like K Walk said, you got LeBron teaming up with Chris Bosh and D Wade. Now he's with AD and Russ and and D Wade teaming up with Kyrie, and like it's like the guy said, it's not as competitive anymore.
I agree with everything you guys said. I don't disagree at all, but I'm going the other way. I'm going the other way. And the only reason I'm going the other way is because every once in a while, and I think I said this to you guys before, when I catch one of those games on NBA TV, it's hard to watch. It is really hard to watch a game from the 80s or 90s when it's on NBA TV. It just almost looks like a completely different game. And all my favorite players played in that era, but it's tough to watch. So that's the only reason I'm going to go with the way basketball is played now, because it's just a more enjoyable experience for me. All right. I know we're getting
with the graphics. If you're talking about graphics, of course it's tough to watch. I can't watch it anymore neither.
No, I'm not talking about the graphics, but I'm talking about the slow moving, walking the ball up the floor. Oh man, it's tough. It's tough. All right, I know we're getting close to the clock here, so I'm gonna just give y'all one more. Women's basketball players are more skilled than the men. Agree or disagree? K-Walk, you go first.
More skilled.
You
said more skilled than the men?
Than the men, yes. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I saw a lot of people talking about that they think the women's game, the women players, because you're not seeing some of the acrobatics from an athletic standpoint, dunking, lobs, all those kind of things, that they've been forced to develop their skill a little bit more, and that they actually think the women's game is more skilled players than the guys have. But what say you, K-Walk? I don't want to poison the jury here. Just give me your thoughts.
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not. Wow, Jay, I didn't get a chance to think about this, but now that I'm thinking about it, I can see the argument there. I can really see the argument when you're looking at some of the females that are playing right now. Just to name a few, Diana Taurasi, Britne Griner, she's dunking. You know what, Jay? Wow, that's tough, man. That's a tough one. It is a tough one, but I'm going to give it to the ladies. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. Yes, I can definitely see it, because you are starting to see some of these. We always seen the guys and the men dunking and things of that nature. That's force of nature. But with the ladies, with the women, you don't see that too much, and now we're seeing more of it. So yeah, the more I think about it, the more I talk about it. Yes, the women. Yes, absolutely. I agree.
All right. Okay. All right, Britt. What say you?
See, this one's a tough one. Now, if you said more fundamentally sound, definitely. Like, I think they're more fundamentally sound than the men's, absolutely, because like you said, they're not as athletic. They are athletic, but they're not as athletic as some of the men's. And when you got men coming into the NBA like Ben Simmons, who wants to be a point guard but can't shoot the ball.
Who's that?
Who's that? Who's Ben Simmons? So this one's a little tough for me. But when you see players like Kyrie Irving, offensively skilled, like to me, regardless of men and women, he's just skill wise, he's tough. Like he got it. So if I had to put it overall, I might give it to the women's, not by much. I think they're more fundamentally sound versus the men. I just think the men's side is just a lot more athletic. We get all the dunks, and they're nowhere near as fundamentally sound. So I'll give it to the women by a little bit. because of the Maya Moores, because of Diana Taurasi's, because of the Skylar Diggins, those players. So yeah.
Okay. Look, I don't disagree with any of that, anything either one of you said, but I think I'm going the other way on this one. I agree with you about fundamentals. I definitely, if I had worded the question that way, I definitely would have went with the women on fundamentals. But when you start talking about guys like Kyrie and KD and Jason Tatum and Steph Curry and just some of the skill that you see on the NBA level, although the women's game has evolved, I mean, look, the women are just playing phenomenal basketball right now, but I don't know that I could say that I think they're more skilled than the men right now. So fundamentals, I agree, yes, but skill, I think I'm going to stick with the men for now, but the women are definitely closing the gap. All right, K-Walk, I'm going to kick it over to you, man.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick, Jay, I'm sorry. But you know what, though? The reason why I say the women to me are a little bit more skilled, not necessarily because they could just hit the crossover hard or whatnot. A lot of things that Kyrie do, but you got a lot more two-way players in the WNBA than you will ever see in the NBA. Those girls play offense and defense. You know, the Lucas doesn't play defense. Kyrie don't play defense. Steph will not play defense. So that's why I say they're more skilled, because they're more two-way players than anybody in the NBA.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good argument to make. You do see a lot of guys in the NBA that only play one end of the floor, whether it's the offensive end or the defensive end. So no, I do think that's definitely a fair point. All right, K-Walk, man, let me kick it over to you. I know you got a couple start bench cuts that you want to do before we get out of here.
Yeah, just real quick. And the Sixers came to play. Sixers came to play tonight, up 30-19.
What's the score?
Right now. So I told you, 30-19 right now. Sixers right now.
Still
they came
the first
to play.
half.
They play some defense.
They
It's
bring it into the second half, though.
The Heat only have 19 points in the second quarter, so that's a problem. So, but anyway, let's with the theme. I'm going with the Heat theme tonight for obvious reasons, as I just mentioned. I'll start with you on this one, Jay, since Britt is a Sixer fan. Start bench cut. I'm going Charles Barkley, Dr. J, and Bobby Jones start bench cut.
I like all these guys, man. I mean, Doc and Bobby Jones, I was watching them when I was a kid, and Barkley's Barkley, man. But look, I got to start Dr. J, just because when you think of the Sixers, it's either Dr. J or Moses Malone, in my opinion, of who you're going to think about. So I'm starting to Doc. I got to bring Barkley off the bench. Look, Bobby Jones was no scrub, but he's not Charles Barkley. Right. So I'll bring Barkley off the bench, and Bobby Jones has to get cut in this scenario.
All right. Britt, what say you? I know you know
well, first and foremost, I know everybody, especially when it comes to my Sixers. But first of all, I just want to say this. Guys, if you're listening, watching, whatever you're doing, I really think K-Walk's a Sixers fan deep down, because he has some sort of fascination with the Sixers. He always want to do a Sixers theme segment, but it's okay. I love it. I love the love, K-Walk. Welcome to our team. It's okay. It's okay. All right, back to the start bench cut. Back to the start. So I'm with Jay on this one. You got to go with the Doc. I mean, like Jay said, when you think of the Sixers, you think of Doc, you know, with him, Moses Malone back in, I believe it was 83, they won a championship. So you got to go with Doc. He's my all-time favorite player out of anybody in the history of the NBA. My all-time favorite, between him, AI, and Kobe. So I'm starting Dr. J. I got to go with the round mound and Charles Barkley. I'm a bench Charles Barkley. And then I'm going to cut Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones is very talented, but when we start getting into later years, the skills, and as we always talk, I kind of feel like Charles Barkley is like their earlier version of like a Draymond Green, just a little bit, if you really think about it. Wow. They have similar aspects in their game, like big guys could bring up the ball and do what they need to do. So that's my start big bench cut right there.
Yeah, I don't know if Charles would agree with you on that one, but I like it nonetheless. Last one.
No, he's better. He's better. Draymond Green to me is not better.
I think he'd rather be compared to somebody else better than Draymond Green. That's what I was going with. But last one here, guys. I know we're pressed for time here. So last one, we're sticking with the Sixer theme here, Jay. I'll stay with you on this one. We got Big Wilt Chamberlain, We got Moses Malone, and we got Joel Embiid. Start bench cut.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Look, I might just be hating on this or just misinformed, but I'm not a big Wilt fan. I'm not. I mean, I see his highlights. I know he was great. I know he dominated that era, but I don't know. Maybe it was just because it was before our time that he doesn't really move me a whole lot. So, with that being said, I'm starting Moses Malone. I'm just starting Moses, man. There's something about Moses, the heart and soul of that Sixers team. I'm starting Moses. And then I'm bringing Joel Embiid off the bench, man. I think Embiid is as talented as they come. So I'm bringing Joel off the bench. I'm going to cut Wilt. And look, I know Wilt's an all-time great, but some of those highlights in black and white against guys that are 5'8", it's just not, it doesn't move me, K-Walk.
Okay, great point. All right. Britt, what say you?
This one is hard. I don't want to disrespect anybody, so no disrespect to nobody. But you know what? Although he gets injured a lot, and if he could stay healthy, like he's injured right now, as we know, I'm gonna start Embiid. I just think he's dominant on both sides of the floor and how skilled he is. Remember, we went back to being skilled. Like he's a big man that could bring it up the court, could get you in the post, could shoot the mid, could shoot the three. Like he's a rare species. Yeah, did I say it right? So I'm gonna start Embiid, and now I'm torn between Wilt and Moses. Wilt was dominant, so was Moses. I'm gonna go opposite though. No disrespect to Moses, and I love Moses Malone, so this is hard. I gotta give it to Wilt. You know, Wilt brought us our first championship in this daggone city. 100-point game, and mind you, when Wilt really started playing, there was really no dunking. If you really think about it, so he had to shoot the ball. He was 7 foot something, as big as he was, and could shoot the ball, which is very rare. And then became a dominant force. So I'm a bench Wilt, and then this hurts, but I'm gonna cut Moses. I have no valid reasons why. I I'm gonna just cut Moses, and that's hard. That's hard. I probably should have started Moses because he got the chip for us, but I'm gonna stick with it. It's hard, guys. It's hard.
You know what? I'm glad this one was hard. But I'm going with you, Britt. I'm going to start Joel as well. I'm going to start Embiid for everything that you said. I just think he's a freak of nature. For the most part, and I just love his grit, man. I'm just watching this guy right now. I keep peeking over. Sorry, guys, but I just love his grit and everything that he plays through everything because he wants to win. I didn't like him at first, but he's starting to grow on me, kind of like Ja Morant. But I'm gonna start him. I'm going to, I'm gonna bench Wilt, Jay, because the reason why you said, their guys were 5'9", whatever they were, but 100 points, 50 rebounds. I mean, Jay, you got to do that against those type of dudes. So if you don't, then you can't be considered, one of the greatest. As like you said, Britt, as hard as it is for me to say this, I'm going to cut Moses Malone.
And no 3-point shot back then.
Yeah.
Was that?
No 3-point shot back then.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
And no hate on Wilt. I know he's an all-time great. He's an all-timer, but I don't know. Something about it. He just doesn't move me for some reason. But all right, guys, let's do real quick. Let's do our Who's Balling segment before we get out of here. Every week we want to show some love to a team or a player that's just been flat out balling. So Britt, I'll come to you first. Who you got this week? Who's balling?
You know what? Can we start with K-Walk today? Let's start with K-Walk today on this one. Okay. I really want to see who he chooses.
All right,
going with a Heat guy.
I'm not. Pass it to you, K-Walk. Let's see. All right, no problem.
Appreciate it, Britt. I'm going to go with the guy in the East, though. But I'm going to go with the guy that I drafted in the second round, and I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown, man. You know, 30 points, 30 points in the last performance against that, against, the Bucks in a game that they had to win. I thought they are the better team, especially without the Bucks having Chris Middleton. And the way that the Bucks won that game, I was like, oh, one of these guys got to step up, and it was Jaylen Brown. So Jaylen Brown, man, that last game, he's leading his team right now. It's 1-1. Jaylen Brown was balling.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. You know, normally I write a couple names down, but this week I only had one, and K Walk took my guy. So I'm I'm going to give a double shout out to Jaylen Brown, because for everything you said, K Walk, he was huge in that game, a game Boston really needed to win. So a double shout out to Jaylen Brown, absolutely balling.
All
right, so me, guys. All right, since K-Walk didn't go with the Heat player, because I had a backup just in case he did. All right, I was going to show love to my Sixers, although they lost regardless. All right, but I don't have to go there today. I did have Jaylen Brown, so that was actually 3, but I'm gonna switch it up. We got to shout out Ja Morant. Ja Morant has been killing it in that series. In the last game, he had 47 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, shooting 48% from the field and 43% from the 3-point line, and a 106-101 victory against the Warriors. Ja Morant was balling.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great call right there. That's K Walk's boy. Great call right there. Yeah. All right, let's get ready to get out of here, guys. Before we go, Britt, what are you looking forward to this weekend? We know we got a good second half to look forward to tonight with the Sixers and the Heat, but tell us what you're looking forward to this weekend, and also let the people know where to find you, Britt. People are listening to the show. They're going to be watching us on video as well. Where can they find you if they want to follow you on social media?
Well, if you want to follow me on social media, I'm primarily on IG, Instagram at Britne Monique, and I'll spell it out for you because my first name is not spelled the normal Britney way. So it's at BRITNE Monique. I'm trying to get a little bit into TikTok and Twitter. But once I start those up, I'll let you guys know. But right now, primarily IG at Britne Monique. And this weekend, just watching the games. We coming down. These games are dwindling little by little. Got the Sixers. I think the Celtics and the Bucks play tomorrow. And next week we'll be almost into round 3. Or the semi conference finals. I'm sorry. So that's all I'm going to be looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. K Walk, same thing, man. What about the weekend? And let the people know where they can find you.
First, where you can find me at is on right here, as you can see on the back of Jay's is Instagram. You got the Kevin.Walker 142. Twitter, same thing. It's just Kevin Walker 142. Facebook. Kevin Walker. You see the big bald head, shiny bald head guy. I'm starting to get into to TikTok as well, like Britt, and my handle is at Kevin Walker 72. So that's where you can find me at, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm looking for this week is wishing every mother out there happy Mother's Day. I hope it's a blessed day for each and every one of you. So that's all I'm looking for, Jay. Obviously, the basketball, the Heat right now are in the top one right now. The Sixers came to play as I thought they would. But nonetheless, happy Mother's Day to every mother out there, for sure.
Yeah, good stuff right there, K-Walk. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the games as well, guys. Just looking forward to seeing some good basketball. And you guys can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Jason Talk Sports. So check me out and give me a follow. All right, guys, we appreciate you listening to the Shoot Around. We'll be back next week at 7 p.m. for Brittany Jones and Kevin Walker.
Wait a minute.
I am Jason Collins. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, guys. I'm sorry. We got to shout us out. We on YouTube now, too. Got to shout out to YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube page. I believe, what is it called, Jay? I can't remember. Is it the Shoot Around?
The Shoot Around. Yep, the Shoot Around.
Mm-hmm. I believe it's the Shoot Around podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Look us up there. Sorry, my bad, Jay. Go ahead.
Absolutely. We're trying to blow this thing up a little bit, guys. So your support will really help us kind of get this thing going. So for Brittany Jones and Kevin Walker, I am Jason Collins, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.